following announcement has been paid for by the WZWA Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the WZWA Network and my review show here of Impact Wrestling's Under Siege 2022. Of course, I am Karlifornia, flying solo once again. Don't want to overwork Jooseyboy. You can't overwork him, but he'll be with me tomorrow for the WrestleMania Backlash review. So flying solo here, let's get straight into things. I just wanted to say, first and foremost, really disappointed to see that Jonah has left Impact. If you remember and you watched my last review on Impact Wrestling, I was very confused as to why Tomohiro Ishii beat Jonah at that show because I didn't think Ishii was going to be around for too long. Now I come to understand, watching this pay-per-view, he was actually going to be working with the walking weapon, Josh Alexander. So that would be our main event. But yeah, you know, I was really enjoying watching Jonah. I'm sure he's going to Japan or something like that. Maybe he got given a pretty sweet deal. Maybe that's kind of what he was waiting to do. And in the meantime, stay in the US and work for Impact for 6 months. But I just thought, man, like I was getting into him, now he's gone. So, you know, it's like getting into someone from NXT. You never know if they're going to still be there. Speaking of also being disappointed at someone exiting Impact Wrestling, very disappointed to see that Inspiration are now gone as well. Cassie Lee and Jessie McKay. You know, being Australian, always proud to see Aussies out there doing their thing in the pro wrestling world, because we are doing very, very well and a lot of great talent is coming from our country. So sad to see that they're going on an indefinite hiatus. Hopefully they will be back one day, because I was enjoying their work in Impact Wrestling. Okay, let's start the show. I don't know if there was a pre-show. It's been a bit of a whirlwind. It's a long story. I'm not going to bore you with the details, but we opened the show with Madison, Rayne with Tenille, Dashwood, the tag champs, the Influence, taking on Giselle Shaw with Alesha at ringside. And at this point, now that Inspiration are gone, they really need some more ladies tag teams, because you can only have Decay work with Inspiration. Influence, fucking hell. You can only have them work together so many times. It doesn't seem like there's a lot more teams. I've said it a few times already on these reviews that I think they need more ladies tag teams, even if they're just bringing them in for, a month or so to build up to a tag title match at a pay-per-view. What of it? But, you know, I don't know. I'm sure that there's got to be some out there. I feel like Giselle, this is the second time I've seen her perform in a singles match. First time I think was against Lady Frost. I think she has improved a lot. Liking obviously the what we'd come to expect from this kind of matchup with Tenille, Dashwood, grabbing the foot of Giselle, and you know, I always kind of pop for those spots with the heels on the outside, fucking doing their heel shit. Things got a little disjointed at one stage, but they recovered well. There was a wheelbarrow pin that Madison hit on Giselle that was almost into like a bomb. That was fantastic. A big knee from Giselle Shaw. That was a huge win for her. It felt like a bit of a coming out party for her. So I'm sure her and Alesha will be one of the next contenders for the Knockouts tag titles. And of course, Tom Hannigan, or whatever his name is now, you know, he said something along the lines of, do you think they deserve a title shot? And I was like, well, Tom, they fucking definitely better, because there's no one else right now. A little bit of a thin division. Okay. Gia Miller backstage with the Briscoes. They're just such characters, man. They're such characters. You can see Gia getting entertained by them as well. They cut a hell of a promo. So glad that they're in Impact Wrestling. And obviously at the last pay-per-view, if you remember, I wanted them to come out during the tag turmoil and surprise win the belts. But I guess I was saving it to, you know, maybe get some pay-per-view buys by not having a surprise, by having them advertised ahead of time. Moving forward, Steve Maclin becoming a quick favorite of mine. Steve Maclin taking on the one and only Chris Sabin. I feel like guys like Sabin, Maclin, Alex Shelley, maybe a bit of Jay White. These guys have really become quite reliable workhorses for Impact in the mid card there over the last few months. So enjoying both their work, except I did not like Sabin versus Jay White at the multiverse of matches. I've already said that before. That one just didn't seem to really get going like these types of matches have been. So Maclin and Sabin, what a fucking match this was. Great catch of the senton into the powerbomb on the fucking ring apron. Steve Maclin, to me, he's going to be a future name for Impact. And the great thing about Impact is that the sky seems to be the limit for everybody. You never feel like somebody's ultimate destination within Impact is stuck under some kind of glass ceiling, and there's different levels of those glass ceilings, right? You know that a certain someone is not going to be up in that upper echelon. Like, Shelton Benjamin is not going to be fighting for the WWE title anytime soon. Like, that there's no way that that's even going to be considered or thought of. So that's what I like about this. You never know who's going to win these types of matches in the early stages of a pay-per-view, because it can always go either way. It's never feels like a foregone conclusion with Impact, unlike AEW. I really dug the way Sabin dug deep later in the match. That was really cool. The way that he was trying to figure out how to get the advantage over Steve Maclin. And Sabin did get the win. And I was like, that's a good one, because I really felt he needed a big win at that point. And, you can always do a rematch. Backstage, Gia with Deonna. Good promo. And also a compliment to Gia with her eye makeup. I thought your eye makeup was on point, mate. Moving forward, AAA Reina to Reina's title. Taya Valkyrie taking on Deonna Purrazzo. It's such a shame what happened to Deonna at Dynamite with all I guess the feedback was that the match was boring. I saw some AEW fans being like, we've got two like NXT rejects main eventing Dynamite. What is this? And it's like, man, you obviously, all of you fuckers have not been watching Impact, because Deonna Purrazzo has been killing it every fucking pay-per-view I've seen since I started reviewing Impact Wrestling with Bound for Glory last year. She hasn't had a bad match there. So if it was boring and the match to you wasn't exciting, maybe it's something to do with the booking. Maybe the genius billionaire's son, maybe he didn't really think it through very much. He just thought, I've got to get the belt off Deonna. Got to get the belt off Deonna and onto Mercedes, because Mercedes is with Ring of Honor. How about this? How about you have Deonna surprise everyone and retain, and then do a story where you have to send women from AEW to try and get that belt back from on an Impact Wrestling TV show. And each week, Deonna can somehow escape with the belt. You could make something out of it. And then by the time you have figured out what you're doing with Ring of Honor and how you're going to keep that company moving forward, because you've only had one show since you started running the ship, bro, then by that point, you could have the big rematch between Deonna and Mercedes Martinez, instead of just fucking blowing your load and doing it on a whim on Dynamite with no proper build and expect the fucking fans to fucking go nuts for it. It's not always about the in-ring stuff, it's also about the build. And if the build is good, then the people will be more invested in the fucking match. So I just think it's a shame for her, because she's been doing so well, and now she gets in front of that big audience there, and now it's soured. So hopefully that doesn't affect her in future. Anyway, her and Valkyrie, they work good together. They had a great match at the last show, Rebellion. I could probably watch a few more matches between them, to be honest. Valkyrie retains in surprise fashion. Great match, motherfucker. Deonna attacks after the match. So I was looking forward at this point to see where this goes. The lights go out. Impact always with the surprises. Who is it but Mia Yim? So it looks like Deonna and Mia will be working together, maybe at Slammiversary or something like that. And that's cool. Good to have another name brought in that people recognize. Gia Miller with Trey Miguel, good promo. That's all I wrote. I thought he did a good job. Speaking of Trey Miguel, X Division title match. Ace Austin defends against Trey fucking Miguel. Right. Matt Rewalt and Tom Hannigan or Hennigan, I can't remember which one it is. Doesn't matter. They're really gelling well, I feel, and they never say anything that annoys me. It's like Vic Joseph and Wade Barrett and NXT. I think that they work well together. I think every other team, commentary team from wrestling, there's something that's just a piece of the recipe with their commentary teams that's just a little bit off, that just ruins it a little bit. But these two teams, the NXT team and Rewalt and Tom, are doing a fantastic fucking job, bro. Okay. So I think Trey Miguel has really worked well on his chain wrestling. It's very impressive how he does his fucking shit. The crossbody to the outside over the top rope by Ace Austin, where they kind of both flipped over at the same time. That was tremendous. I was surprised to see that Impact still sell DVDs of their pay-per-views. Man, DVDs surely are almost fucking obsolete. I mean, who watches DVDs anymore? You know, I just recently moved house, as you may recall, that I used to do all of this shit sitting outside. Now I've got my own office because I've moved into a house bought a house because I got my shit together. I threw out all my DVDs. Almost lost the train of thought there. I threw out most of my DVDs. They kept the special ones, but I was like, what do I need this for anymore? I don't need this. If I want to watch this, then I'll just torrent it or something, or I'm sure it's on one of the fucking million look, forget about it, okay? Netflix, etc. But let's get away from all that, okay? Because I'm rambling now. And I've got a bottle of red wine that has my name on it after this. Miguel's lion salt. That was insane. Has anyone ever seen a lion salt inside the ring with that much of a fucking height arc? Unbelievable. This Trey Miguel cunt is, and I use that word, you know, that's a term of endearment here in Australia. This Trey Miguel cunt is fucking good. Miguel, he's very precise. The control he has over his body is impressive. Every pay-per-view, man. Every pay-per-view, Impact let the talent have the best match possible and give them a good amount of time to tell their story. They don't fuck around and plod along like WWE do. And then someone's match gets cut from 15 minutes to 7. And then once they're in the ring, the referee says, sorry, now you got 4. That's bullshit. Anyway, the fold by Ace Austin, great maneuver. He hits it for the win. What a contest. Was not expecting Ace to drop the belt back here at this point. So some may think it was a foregone conclusion, but at the same time, I was like, maybe they'll do a little hot potato here, considering Trey held the belt for so long. Moving forward, here was one that was good. This is a nice palate cleanser. Bullet Club taking on Honor No More in a 5 versus 5 fucking war, bro. So I thought it was interesting. It was a nice change of pace because we just had shit. What do we just have? We had the X Division title match. We had the Reina to Reinas title match. We had Maclin versus Sabin. 3 very like kind of hectic, like long, drawn out kind of wars. And this was a war itself, but it was at least it was a little different because it was 5 people, so more stimulus for us watching. Jay White, I think he has a swagger about him that I just think is great. There's a certain atmosphere in the air when this was taking place. You could feel it from the audience. I like the reaction from the people when Matt Taven and Jay White faced off. That was pretty cool. I didn't know what the previous backstory to that was, but that doesn't matter. I just assume. They did the back rake spot, which Mr. Rewalt stated was vintage Bullet Club. And I popped for Tom Hennigan saying, I really hate you for that. So that's a nice little dig at Michael Cole. I like it. But yeah, I've never seen that back rake spot before. It was okay. Gallows came in like a house of fucking fire, bro. Kenny King with some great dives. As this thing got crazier and crazier, it was building suspense toward the finish. Very good work, fellas. The dives, they all made sense. The dives took place due to happenstance of a situation and not coming across too set up. like on Triple Mania, where the Young Bucks literally ran to the other side of the ring and stood there waiting to catch the guy. What were you fucking think? Do you guys not honestly think when you're doing that, oh, this is going to look fucking stupid? I don't understand it, bro. You're both standing there. Why would you move out of the way? Just take a couple steps. It's stupid. It really annoys me. Anyway, I was so happy to see that Honor No More won. Wow. Because I just thought Bullet Club were going to be protected here. But a great win for Honor No More. So that's great stuff. Knockouts title. Tasha Steelz versus Havok. When I saw this was on the card, I was like, geez, like, how's this one going to go? Because Tasha's pretty small and Havok is Havok, you know? So how are they going to go about this matchup? I found it serviceable, not offensive. There was nothing wrong. Don't get me wrong. There was nothing wrong with this match. This was a good match, but it was just a tough mixture, the size difference, and Havok having to cop that lengthy heat from somebody so much smaller. It made that suspension of disbelief a little tough. I think maybe they needed to like have a spot in the match where Havok, I mean, I know she hit the steel stairs at one point, but there should have been something that happened. Maybe she fucking hits an exposed turnbuckle and she's all fucking wobbly. You know, that would suffice. I just didn't buy Tasha Steelz being able to physically dominate Jessica Havok. Steelz with the blackout. I was impressed with the move and the match was okay. Right. Coming up next, one of my favorite matches on this show, Violent by Design. Cody Deana and Eric Young, the champions, with Joe Doring at ringside, taking on the Briscoes. And I wrote first, I wonder what the fuck is going to happen here. And just immediately, here we go again. The Briscoes always open their matches hot, being hectic as fuck. The air in the building changes when the Briscoes are wrestling. There's really nothing like it right now in pro wrestling, as far as I'm concerned. There's nothing like a Briscoes match. It's like watching Guns N' Roses play in the early 90s. You don't know what to expect. It's going to be wild. It's going to be crazy. So glad that the Briscoes are not in AEW, because judging by the amount of people that they have, that would have been a shame. I'm glad that they chose to go to Impact, even though I'm sure they weren't able to go to AEW because of that report that some fuckface in the big company didn't want them signed. Okay, so again, the dives. The whole situation of the match just comes unglued when they're on fire. They did these dives that were so fucking great. Mark Briscoe with a great hot tag at one stage. And I have to say, Eric Young has become such a great performer with the facial expressions, always making sure the audience know how he's feeling through every instance of the match. Fans, what's with the lackluster "This is awesome" chant? This is awesome. This is awesome. If it's really awesome, wouldn't you be like, this is awesome? Like, wouldn't you be fucking losing your shit and on your feet? I'd hate that. This is awesome. It's like, that is so dumb. It's like when the teacher says good morning to you in the beginning of the day at school, and she'll go, good morning, class. And everyone goes, good morning, Mrs. Smith. It's exactly the same thing. You got to put some oomph and hoo-ah behind it, motherfucker. Okay, finishing off the match, Doomsday Device. Fuck yeah, bro. The Briscoes are the new Impact Tag Team Champions. At first, I thought to myself, the journey to get there wasn't told over a prolonged amount of time, which makes things like this seem more meaningful. But you know what? I will let that slide. It's okay. Because, you know, on any given day, it could be someone's day. So it makes sense. Here comes Moose. He's cutting this great promo. They're panning the crowd, and there was one guy on his fucking phone. His front row just standing there on his phone. What is wrong with everyone? Can't you just leave your fucking phone in your pocket for like just a few hours? When I go to a wrestling show, I guarantee you I don't pull my phone out unless it's intermission. Like, why would I pull my phone out for? Like, it doesn't, just fucking live in the now for a second, everyone. Shit. He calls out Scott D'Amore after a great promo, being mad about the fact that his rematch was only given 5 days notice for, whereas Josh Alexander got 6 months to build up for it. Demore doesn't come out. The lights go out again. Here we go. Who's it going to be? Impact always with the surprise. It's Sami Callihan. He's back. Good stuff there. He lays out Moose, and I didn't know that there was a story behind it. Glad that there is. So it's good to see now that Moose, because I was thinking to myself, what's he going to do now? Like, because he's lost the rematch, he's lost the belt. What's he going to do now? Like, where do you go with him at this point when he was just the top guy for all this time? So I thought it was a pretty cool thing. Looking forward to seeing them work together. Okay, let's fucking finish this one off, motherfucker. Impact World Heavyweight Title, motherfucker. Tomohiro Ishii challenging the walking weapon, Josh Alexander. Ishii, he's got that Taz thing going on, man. He's short, but he's like a brick wall. And after I wrote that down, it was the first time that I heard him be known as the Stone Pitbull. I like it. I like it. I like it. Real physical fight here, man. I mean, I was glued to the screen. I mean, I've never really been held like big on Japanese style, strong style kind of matches, but that's just because I'm more of a tourist in that kind of style of wrestling than I am, other styles. But I really enjoyed this. I wrote, can you imagine Josh Alexander versus a prime Kurt Angle? Fuck, man. Great counter of the enziguri by Josh into the ankle lock. I really love that because everything he was trying physically wasn't working. So he finally found that opening, locked in the ankle lock. That was good fucking shit. And then there was this great back and forth where they were trading the ankle locks and knee bars and shit. Great selling from Ishii to get the rope break. You could feel his pain. You could feel it, baby. This was just a great fucking match, a war, a struggle, but not like a struggle that Jay White and Chris Sabin had the other month. This was a struggle that had me really on the edge of my seat. Again, the fans with the lackluster fight forever chant, fight forever, fight forever. You don't really seem that enthused about them fighting forever. And I always hated that fucking chant. I always hated it, fight forever. Why would you want someone to fight forever? They will die, or before they die, they'll shit themselves because they need to go to the toilet. So if you want to watch someone defecate in the ring, then you're pretty weird, bro. Anyway, stalling superplex from Ishii was special. Then I see Josh Alexander execute a moonsault, and I'm like, Josh can do a moonsault as well. Like, is there anything that this bald fuck can't do? And I can say that because I'm bald, okay? I think, honestly, I think Josh Alexander's top 5 in the business right now as far as in-ring is concerned. When he goes to the lengths that he goes to make sure that it's a special match, I'm blown away every time. I mean, the match with Moose was fantastic at the last pay-per-view, and this was no different. The C4 spike, he finally fucking hit that thing after so many attempts. He finally hit it after a power bomb. That was over. The match was fucking over. What a main event to close 2022's Impact Wrestling's Under Siege pay-per-fucking-view. Bro, I really enjoyed Under Siege. It cheered me up. I had a pretty bad night last night. I was assaulted in a bar and had done nothing wrong and done nothing to deserve it. So I've been very sad and upset all day over the fact that this happened, because I don't, despite the fact being a wrestling fan, I don't condone fucking violence, especially when someone isn't even looking when you punch them. So I've had a bad day. This cheered me up. And I want to give this one an 8 out of 10. I nearly gave it a 7.5, but you know what? That main event and the Briscoes match really pushed it up to an 8 for me. Just a great show. And Impact again, dude, with Hard to Kill, Sacrifice, Rebellion, Under Siege. They've been nailing it every single fucking pay-per-view. So again, I'll say it one more time. Impact Wrestling has the best creative going in wrestling right now, and people need to give it a chance. And that's all I got to say. I'm Karlifornia. This is the WZWA's network. The WZWA Network's review show here of Under Siege, baby. And we will see you down the fucking road.
Network, that's the way we play. Good God Almighty. Network, that's the way we play. Get puppies. Network, that's the way we play. Get.
The following announcement has been paid for by the WZWA Network.